Hi everybody, welcome to Whiskey Mystery. I'm Phil.
I'm Deepa.
And of course it's end of the year, the last show of the year, and we thought we'd better do a little bit of bottles of the year type of thing. So I've put these 4 on the table as our whiskies of the year. Except these were 4 of the disappointments of the year. So, Ardbeg Dark Cove. Now, this isn't the committee release. This is the 46% version, but it's almost a mythical Ardbeg the Dark Cove, and it was in blind tasting for so long, waiting for it to show up. And when it did show up, we sort of shrugged it off as not being particularly interesting. Can you even remember?
I think with shot finish, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, we still have some. I mean, it's not bad. Of course.
I think maybe with pottery.
It's a very nice Ardbeg, but I guess the hype got ahead of it. Another PT one, which actually wasn't in the blind taste, but we bought it to try, the heavily peated Kilkerran. And it's the one that, maybe it will get better. Actually, I think it's down there. Can you grab it? The problem was, as soon as we nosed it, we thought, ooh, new make. I just want to see, does it still smell like it's new make? Yeah. It smells very new make.
I forgot. It's
slightly gone off fruit. So we haven't. We were disappointed with the heavily peated. Right, Springbanks. How could we be disappointed with Springbanks? Well, local barley is not a Springbank that disappoints us normally, because it is up here on the shelf. But this is the local barley 10 Oloroso, and you can see by the colour, it just didn't do it for us at all, and it just seems to be against what we enjoy of the local barley, and that is tasting the different types of barley. And all you can taste here is lots of sherry. So this is definitely not our whiskey of the year. And especially because it's now selling for £550. It's like almost a $800-900 bottle at auction. It's absolutely stupid. So it's Belgravia barley, but you can't tell because all you can really taste is sherry. And actually that goes along with the Kilkerran 8 Oloroso, the heavily charred one. We didn't like that one either. So that's kind of more our palate. And somehow, as much as we like Springbank, every time, the 2 times we've had a 21-year-old show up in blind tasting, we have kind of pushed it off the shelf. And I guess it's gone a bit black art for us in terms of the flavours have been a bit weak, even though the nose have always been fantastic. There is still one in blind tasting, and it is, which one is it? The 2015 is still in blind tasting, which is technically one that we don't like. This is the 2019. This is the one that's really supposed to be fantastic. Should we have a little sip? Well, we have dispatched a couple already, but the 2019 is the rum and port one, I think. We shouldn't really distract from today's whiskey because we are going to do a blind taste after.
Distract from a port. I see.
What do you see?
That is mental. It's funny.
It's a bit funny.
It's strange. It's very unlike.
Yeah. So it does seem that we prefer young Springbanks over the old Springbanks, and we do still have a 25-year-old Springbank in blind tasting.
A bit of toothpaste.
A bit of toothpaste. All right, let's go to the chat for a second.
What was the combination? Sherry and...
No, port and rum, I think the 2019 was. Let's see. The first channel I've watched where Whiskey of the Year is the lineup of disappointments. That's Whiskey 101. We're gonna press on with more bottles. Whiskey with an E, Gerben's in, Jimmy Jazz, Petehead, Nebulous, Aaron McFault. Nice to see everyone in here. Whiskey Lovers Society. I'm sure there's more of you up at the top as well. Right. Now, on to bottles which we were more impressed with. Let's see, where should we go? Let's start with these three. Now, these are three bottles which are not new for last year, but they were new to us. And of course, the Lagavulin 11 Offerman, the first one, not the Guinness, the first one, came out probably 2 years ago. The Arran 14 had been around and discontinued, so we had to pick this up last minute. And the Hakushu 12 has been around, disappeared, comes back, and we picked this up at K&L. You really liked the Lagavulin Offerman.
But the price went up.
Well, the price was about 75 the first time we bought it. This was sort of like 80, 70, 80, 120, no, 130 we ended up paying for this new bottle. But it was nice to see it on the shelf again at K&L at retail price. This one was bought actually this month. So 3 bottles that actually the Lagavulin has now been pushed off the shelf. The Arran is still up here on the top shelf, and the Hakushu is right next to the Yoichi. We actually had a little taste the other day as part of thinking of this lineup, and we moved it ahead of the Yoichi. So they're not bottles from this year, but for us these were bottles at a reasonable price. That we like.
Reset gone.
Yeah.
You get back. You share with a friend.
So have a look out for Hakushu coming online again. And if there's any Arrans that haven't gone offline yet, grab those. I think, another one.
And it also difficult to get.
Yes, this is also offline now, but you might find the old Dusty. Another one for me especially was Glen Scotia 15. We called it Whiskey. It's a classic whiskey, I think. A classic whiskey profile. And even now it's about $80. And I have to say that this is probably ranking. Where are we? Glen Scotia 15 is probably the highest ranking bottle for the price at the moment. Arran not being available anymore. Actually, the Glendalough was another surprise. So these are the 4 bottles I think that we liked from this year. Okay, put those over there. This one we're using for some tasting today. A little jump into the chat. Jerry Miller, it's only proper that I offer to dispose of those disappointing bottles for you. Just being polite. Yes, Jerry. Arran 14 is a beautiful, non-expensive dram nebulous. It is. I wish we had picked up more when we could. Right, now, on to things that are slightly more... not quite out of reach. Not out of reach, not really, no. We said we didn't like the Kilkerran 8 Oloroso, but we did love the Kilkerran 8 Ex-Bourbon. Right? 55.7% this one. And it is still... I was looking at the top shelf. It's right here. Now, this was also under $100. Probably should be about 80 or 90 at the original price. And this goes towards us, that thing of liking the Ex-Bourbon profile. Not quite sure when this came out, but we bought it. We bought it as a replacement. Again, this might be a bottle not from 2021, 2020 release, I think maybe, but we didn't taste it until this year. And I thought that was pretty fantastic. honey toasted pencils. Now, we can't really leave Springbank local barley off the shelf, can we? That was just the Oloroso version. We have liked all the others. The 16-year-old, I think, was Prisma barley. The 11 is Bear barley. There's a Belgravia 10-year. And then Optic for 9 and 10 years. Now, the thing that is better about all of these ones is the fact that they are they're mostly ex-bourbon. They have some little bits of sherry in here and there.
Transparent.
But this 11-year-old was one that we didn't like it that much when we had the lineup of Springbank local barleys. But throughout the year of blind tasting, the ones I thought I was going to really like, haven't really shone. But when the 11 came up in blind tasting, we absolutely loved it. And again, a bottle which is no longer available. But that's the reason that Springbank local barley is up this high. And this one, I believe, is 100% ex-bourbon. And we call this one More Grass Than Chocolate. So, Springbank local barley. Along those lines, Daff Mill. In particular, for us, the ex-bourbon Summer Batch 2006.
So good.
A 12-year-old 46% whiskey costing $256. I'm looking at this label. That's over $18 per year, normalized to 40% ABV. By comparison, $12.3 per year, $8.8 per year. Well, not anymore. This is a $500 bottle now as well. But the Daff Mill is up here. And we had a little taste yesterday, and again, we absolutely loved it.
So understated.
Understated, light, floral, slightly Auchentoshan-y floral, in a good way.
Finish.
Yeah.
How many years?
12 years.
But these
And it was one that we tasted with other Daff Mills, and we blind tasted it, and it did hold up both times. So that is a pretty amazing whiskey for the... We didn't like the 2009, which was the one with sherry. The sherry made it super bitter at the end. Don't buy the sherry 2009 version. So I think, let's put these two aside. I'm going to say for my whiskey of the year of reasonable price, I am going to say Glen Scotia 15. If you haven't got a Glen Scotia 15, go and get one. And I think it is, well, along the lines of my favourite Craigellachie 13. A great bottle for the price. And for you?
I like this one.
Deepa? You're supposed to...
Yeah.
Well, go on, what were you going to get?
For the price.
I was sure Deepa was going for Daff Mill.
Come with it for the price.
Yes. Hackshoe. Now, be careful. If you don't pay more than retail. Even 130 is pushing it a bit for this one. But you can, if you find it at retail price, I think it's a pretty excellent Japanese whiskey. We don't know Japanese whiskies that well, but we've been impressed with this. The Yoichi, by the way, is about $90 for comparison. But still, it's right up there alongside other expensive bottles. But I think for both of us, we probably have to say, I know it's not helping, but we are absolutely not disappointed to have bought a backup at that price of the Daff Mill. And I feel slightly apologetic in recommending it. So our silly price bottle of the year is the Daffmill 2006. And our not silly price bottle of the year is Glen Scotia 15. Right. But we're not drinking those today. No. We are still, how long have we got? We did quite well, 15 minutes. We are still going to be blind tasting the group pick. Bottle number 225. Let's see how we're going to do. Let's bring in some glasses. Get our little lineup going. And before I do that, let's go to the chat and see how everyone is doing. I guess what I could do is I could get the viscometer going, couldn't I? Why not? Always, oh, it's going to cover up the chat. Never mind. Let's get the viscometer started, at least. And see what we are going to score today and go. Now I am going to go to the chat while the viscometer runs. Let's see. Let's go back up a little bit. I'd love a Yamazaki 12, but the price is Blind Monkey. Whiskey Lovers Society. I would absolutely take the Hakushu 12 over the Yamazaki 12. But they do show up at K&L as well, I've noticed, at normal prices. So I think we're maybe starting to get some supply back on the Japan side. Jimmy Jazz, super chat time for your 2022 Daffmill Fund. Happy New Year. Thanks, Jimmy Jazz. And coins for you, of course. Names will be going in the hat. Let's see. Yes, VPUB after this. Glen Scotia, no nonsense whiskey. It is, absolutely. It's whiskey. Gigi, I still to open my Aaron 14. Have you ever had it, Gigi? Get it open. It is fantastic. Okay, what else were people saying? Love Hakushu 12. I'm lucky enough to have bought the 18 when it was cheap. It's a great dram, Whiskey 101. Ooh, I'm sure that is. Have not tried the 18. I don't think it wasn't in our lineup. Beautiful, non-expensive. My favorite phrase in whiskey. Jerry Miller. Well, you know, under $100 is not expensive these days, isn't it? It seems. Maybe that's just us. Reb, good to see you in. The Glen Scotia 15 is so orange in colour. I noticed that when I poured it today because we're going to use it for blind tasting, and I was like, wow, that is some fake tan going on in there.
What's that one?
That's the Glen Scotia 15. Jimmy Leg, thank you so much for the samples you sent me this year. I really appreciate it. Here's to a great new year. Thank you very much, Jimmy. You are welcome. I'm just glad that the special delivery system made it. Oh yeah, Reb, it really puts me off. For Ex-Bourbon, doesn't anyone else think the colour is weird? Yes, I would agree, Reb. I certainly noticed that today. I was like, whoa, what's that? Yes, a bit of fake tan, as Ralphie would say. Jimmy Leg, that is the best whiskey in the world. KK8 Bourbon. Yes, Jimmy. I still haven't tried the one that you have, the 56 point whatever. Let me get down. Let's see. The Daffmill is available online. What? $7.99? Whiskey with Molly? Pounds. That's got to be a single cask. That must be a special single cask. Surely not. 110 RRP. Okay. Well, obviously don't buy that. Wonder if, can you visit Daffmill? We'll have to see if we can visit. Okay. I think we've all just about caught up with the chat there. Amir, hi. Local store has 2006 Daffmill for $2.20. May have to bite the bullet. Hard to justify a 12-year-old. Yeah, Amir. I mean, I will say what Roy says. If you buy it and you don't like it, we will buy it off you. Well worth it.
I don't know how many to give.
Well, throw them in. Deep is putting all the names in the hat. Whisky Lover Society Hackshoe 12 is now €230 in Belgium. No, do not buy it. Sandy McDonald, what do you think of Kilkerran's 16, as I bought a bottle today? Actually, we did like the 16, but we liked the 8 cask strength better. The 16 is actually no longer on our shelf, if that gives you an indication. I thought it was very good, but I thought maybe for the price, maybe not as good as others. Oh, thank you very much. I have missed the timer. That is a good call to get us back on track. Right, 351. That works out about 106% ABV on this one. So let's get on with the show for the next 12 minutes. We are going to nose it, taste it, rank it somewhere on the shelf. So 106% based on, compared to standard Russian vodka, means that it is slightly low average viscosity. We'll pour it in a second. Yesterday's glass.
Slight cooling effect.
I've got dried honey, dried because it's dry in the glass. Little dusty chocolate and dry honey. Let's pour and see. How are the bubbles going to be today? Try and make a show of the bubbles. Oh, they didn't hold up, did they? They did not hold up. Let's have a little bubble shake. No, lightweight bubbles, lightweight. And it's always a problem. Okay, 43. That 43 always looks kind of decent. It's a Balvenie. This 40% is green spot. But see, then we have a 46 also, which is Tomatin, which has very thin bubbles. So surely we are down in the low bubble range of 40, 43, 46 probably. Oh, slightly toothpastey there today, coming in on the first nose.
Very light, very subtle.
Yes, light and subtle.
Very delicate.
I mean, pleasant though.
Oh yeah.
My first thought is like, oh, it's something like Altmore 12, that kind of light Speyside-y sort of a thing.
Very subtle, sandalwood.
Oh, sandalwood.
But very mild, soft.
Yeah, I'm going to go straight into the picture. Because the nose is what most of this picture is. It's not unlike, the picture isn't unlike last week's Ben Nevis Ex-Bourbon, which turned out to be sherry. It wasn't Ex-Bourbon, was it?
But the onion subtle, herbal, vinegary.
Subtle, herbal. So maybe there's a tiny bit of sherry.
Also sour, also.
Which makes me think then...
Dry white wine.
Dry white wine. Oh yeah. Actually, in this glass, I get more of the sherry. If you pour your empty glass, or at least it's a richer honey, like a dark honey, maybe sherry. So if it's an official bottle, it might be one of those, you know, a little bit of sherry barrel over Ex-Bourbon.
But dirty, I suppose slightly dirty.
Slightly dirty. Is it anything peaty or funky or cheesy?
More from also sour white wine batter.
So kind of the sourness you get from a wine barrel. Let's see. Oh yeah. So a little bit pencil shavings, like a clean wood box. Let me see if I can evaporate this out.
A dash of apple or a very subtle flavors.
Apple. So we're talking about light white fruits, pretty fresh, a little bit of funkiness.
Not very fresh.
So maybe it's older.
8.
So maybe it's an official bottle, mostly ex-bourbon, a touch of sherry, Speyside. Oh, it's getting... That's sandalwood. It's getting more like a pencil case now, but in a very clean way.
New plastic case.
New plastic. But this is not funky the way a Springbank would be funky, or the Ben Nevis. It's not a wine finish funk. This is very light, like more like stewed apples than fresh apples.
But nice.
Right, go ahead, have a taste. Yeah, a bit richer now. Doesn't come across as strong. There's no hard vapors.
It's a free barrel of sugar. It's wonderful.
Oh yeah.
Or it's but of dirty, but vinegary.
Herbal vinegary.
That pickled onion.
Little pickled onion. Now that pickled onion is a sign for us that there's a bit of sherry. Oh, that was nice. Not strong.
No.
Normally on the first sip, it can be pretty intense.
And it's non-diluted. It has solid base.
Solid base.
It could be 45, 43, 46. I mean more 46.
I think the flavours are quite strong, but I think it might be 43.
Could be because it's easy.
The finish is actually quite long, isn't it?
Yes. So it's been me 80 years.
So I was thinking, I said earlier, something like Altmore 12. But there's something about the finish which is quite powerful, quite speckly, sparkly pepper. Let's see. Yeah, and a little bit of green pepper dust, whatever that is.
To start with, it's woody.
Woody?
And then
it's one of those ones which, it improves. It's actually, the finish is the best bit.
Yes.
The arrival is not that strong. The nose is good. The first taste is slightly underwhelming. And then it sort of just unwraps into this long finish.
Every time I got back to it, it gets weaker and weaker. Almost watery.
Yeah.
But the finish, it just keeps going.
A tiny soapy, oaky moment in the middle, which I could do without.
A bit flat in the middle.
A little flat in the middle. Okay. What should we compare to?
But when you put other stuff.
Well, okay, let's compare. Let's do. Here's one we haven't had for a while. Now this is 46%. Headbanger, just subscribed. Welcome aboard. Thank you very much. Better or worse? Also, it's 46%. It's one that's we've used this as a comparison quite a bit. Deanston 18.
But it's a bit around to start. I think I might go for today because today is more calm, solid.
You're right, it is the other way around. The finish on this one tastes like the start on this one. Better or worse? What about the strength then? 46%. Let's go back.
Maybe 45. 43.
46. Better or worse?
I go for this one. I think confused.
That is Deanston 18.
Oh.
Now,
This is more integrated.
we noticed yesterday, after we compared a couple of things and came back, it kind of ruined this one. after we tried other ones.
But not the time.
So I'm just aware that the strength might be lower. Anyway, I thought maybe this could be a Balblair.
The 43.
46 as well.
The apple, the 46.
Okay, more vanilla.
It's a bit dirty. Got me back with it. It's a bit fat to start with. So I like this one.
Yeah.
But the finish is good finish.
Do you think they are related?
Possible. There is more amplification.
A 31-year-old Balblair. Could this... 31. Could this be a younger Balblair, maybe?
Possible.
Let's see. I think... Let's bring up the list. How are we doing for time? No, that's the chat.
There, but you put other stuff.
Let's have a quick look. Sheet list. Now, we're in the lower ABVs. Don't think it's Auchentoshan or Dalmore. It could be this Lime Burner. You never know. Old Pulteney. It could be Yamazaki 12. Why not? Balblair. Nothing peaty. Not sherried enough. Could be some of these. Now, if we're into 46% though, there's a lot of things it could be down there. I think, what have we got on paper?
I thought maybe to put other stuff. I think
I preferred it over the Glen Scotia.
Me neither.
I can't imagine I'd prefer it over Longrow 18. But I think it's solidly in here. Now, 43%. We have a 21-year Glenkeith independent bottle. Hard to tell what that might be, but it's 43%. It could be Yamazaki 12.
I think it's too dirty.
But it is very, you said very balanced.
It's very balanced.
Well, oh, time is up.
But there's no sweetness.
Could it be a 43.8 34-year-old? I don't think so. Do you think it's 46 or 43?
It's possible because it's a coolie. A dust of coolie.
46 or 43?
I go for 46.
All right, I'm going for 43.
And 17, but what is 17 years?
Hang on. 43. What's that?
46.
46. Now, I'm in the world of, it could be Old Pulteney, it could be Lime Burners, which is a Australian Sherry Solera. I've got two Balblair options.
I think it's 43.
What if it's Old Pulteney 12? It could be. You could have Old Pulteney 21 if you're going 46. What about Ex-Bourbon Dalmore? No. Loch Lomond 18 or Deanston? No.
It could be this.
Only because we don't know anything about it.
I think it can be this one, but not.
Well, why not? I'm going for this as backup. This is a 17-year-old Balblair.
17.
Oh, you know, I was going to go for the 21. I'm going to swap.
But
I think it's 18 or 17.
18, I think.
17 or 18, I think.
43, 46.
Are you going for Balblair?
Yeah, Balblair at 46.
Right. Could be the 21. Could be. Right. Balblair on both sides. Let me go to the chat before we reveal. I get chocolate on a Balblair, which you haven't mentioned picking up. No, actually, whiskey with Molly.
You know, we did.
Early on, I said there's a little bit of chocolate powder.
More of a dust.
Chocolate powder dust on the nose I was getting in the dry glass.
But the finish is also as chocolate dust. Oh, that is good.
It is very good.
That is 43.
Yeah, Whiskey 101, the lime burners probably would have a lot more sherry notes. Okay, are we ready?
43 is more, but it's 46.
Are we ready for the reveal?
It's 43.
Yes. First off, ABV. 43.
43.
Do you want the other Balblair?
No.
Age is... Oh, it's 12 years old. Hang on. Where's that Yamazaki? Come on.
Very bad.
$130. It is from Japan.
Wow.
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 Who said in the chat earlier it could be the Yamazaki 12? Now,
Fantastic.
we got this from...
And
Who did we share this with?
price. It's the same price as this, but $30.
Well, this is Suntory as well, but
I actually prefer to do this over it.
do we though? Okay, let's do a quick test on that. It's funny because we never liked Yamazaki 12. We thought when we did the Japan lineup.
So balanced.
Now the Hakushu should be much more peaty than the Yamazaki.
Impressive.
Oh,
I should like it.
I prefer
It's non-disruptive. It's very almost pure, straightforward. This one is a bit aggressive, but in a good way.
the only thing,
I like both.
I really like the finish. I prefer the Hakushu. The one thing that put me off a little bit was that slight oaky soap moment in the middle.
But it's so very, very picky.
Okay. Try and remember what that one was. Right, who got it? Whiskey 101, did you get it? Whoever got it. Whiskey 101.
So,
Congratulations. Yamazaki 12.
Whiskey but open.
My notes match almost exactly to what you first said, so I went with it. Oh, fantastic. So, maybe we gave good notes for a change.
Wow.
Oh, congratulations. Hakushu over Yamazaki all day. Yes, Yama. So we're saying, though, we are putting this... Oh, no.
Let's go here.
Yeah, but we've just said it's not as good as the Hakushu.
I like both. Both are different.
Well,
In different ways. But a balance.
we'll put it in there somewhere. Right, Whiskey 101. You know what to do. It's time for top shelf, bottom shelf, deeper side, fill side. And I realised we've still got to talk about some special bottles for the year before we finish. So, we've got 5 minutes. We can still get through it. Oh, right. The journey of a good Yamazaki. Yeah. Well, you know, I can see why people like that whiskey. It's the Japanese thing, isn't it?
It's so
Perfectly under control.
fine-tuned.
Fine-tuned, yes. I wonder what the Balblair compares to now. Compares like... Whiskey 101, thank you. What a way to end the year. I couldn't be more happy right now. I would like a bourbon, please. Deeper side, top shelf, in the middle. This is going to be bottle number
In the middle.
200,
Go for the back.
226.
In the middle.
226. I'm just going to write 101 at the bottom, just to confuse things. Right. What are we going to get? There's still a couple of bourbons in there.
Oh.
There are still a few. Is it a bourbon? No, surely not. Not at that colour. Could be another Japanese one. Not a bourbon. Surely. Surely not a bourbon. I'm going to clear my table here. Well, we will find out next year. What is 226? Oh, hang on, it's quiet. Herbal soapy in a nice way.
It's right. It's so fascinating. Okay, it's different. You
Light
can
ABV.
Never get bored.
Light ABV, but it's a good one, isn't it? All right, push these aside. Whiskey of the year. Let's quickly go over some of the more unique moments. We cannot not mention
Number one.
well, it's not number one now, number two, but the Ben Nevis 23-year-old, which was our number one bottle for so long. This is from the, if I can get it in, Single Malts of Scotland release, 52.7%, the ex-sherry Ben Nevis.
And can you buy it again?
Might still be out there on the shelves. 300 and something ish dollars for that bottle. We got some backups. I don't regret it at all. It's one of the best whiskies we've tasted.
It's totally opposite of today because it has so many different flavours,
Yeah.
but integrated.
What a ride. It seems like overall we prefer Longrow to Springbank. Because in general...
Yes, I don't know. I think because it has smoky.
Let me move Yamazaki for now.
Maybe because of smoky.
In general, look, the 18 versus the 18. The 21 versus the 21 not on the shelf. So, we weren't disappointed with Longrow 21, were we? But, can you recommend it at $400? This is better, obviously, if you look at our shelf.
They are very different.
Another high-end bottle that we've both, but more me probably, really liked. The Highland Park 21.
I prefer 28.
Well, the 28 is Ex-Bourbon. That's a different type of Highland Park.
This one.
This is the official bottle. You know, more of a sherry. $272 we paid for this one. Back in 2019. Early 2019. Almost 3 years ago. No. But February 2019. It's a lot more than that now. But I have to admit, this classic Highland Park is a whiskey which was in the top 10 for a long time, and it was good enough for me to go and order a 25, which is still in blind tasting.
Oh, wow.
Look, there's gas in this bottle.
But above, you know, the difference between Rosebank and Brora.
Well,
But if you try Rosebank and Brora.
well, I'm sure you would love to try Rosebank and Brora, but both of these bottles have gas in at the moment, so we're not opening it right now. Well, Depot probably will. Interestingly, we paid $17.5 per year on this Rosebank. At the time I got it, it was our most expensive bottle at $500, $515.
But the papa here is $18.
Yes, that's what I'm saying though, for the years. Oh, because it's a higher ABV. This is 1,000 plus bottle now. We have this much left. A lot of it was shared out. We haven't actually drunk very much of it. It was just a fantastic Lowland classic whiskey. I understand why people love it. But again, at the price, the detail, the long-running detail.
It's very fine today.
And of course, we can't not talk about the Brora. Now, let's ignore the price for a minute. We have put Brora 38-year-old in the #1 spot, right? It is the official release from 2016.
Wow, too expensive.
We can't mention the Brora without also mentioning Flaming Heart, though. Our blind taste of the Brora, it was very close to us putting the flame. Actually, it wasn't that close.
No.
When you look back. Oh, Amir. Thank you very much for the super chat. And some coins for you. We will get your name in the hat after the show. So, the Brora is an amazing bottle. It is a fantastic whiskey. We absolutely loved it for its detail, its subtle smokiness, its age, but mostly because it was an empty tin of pineapples on a campfire. I still have the picture in my head. And when we look back at our blind tasting, when we taste it, you can see our reaction. But based on all of the others, if this is a $300 bottle, this is a $600 bottle. It's not a $2,500 experience. And as you can see, we have shared out almost, well, we've drunk about that much. The rest has been shared out. So many people in the Patreon list have had a chance to get a 1 ounce sample. I hope you enjoy your Brora. I know a few of you have got your samples now. Maybe you can cheers in the new year. And thanks everyone for the year of watching our live streams. We've still got a year's worth of samples to get through. Don't worry, 2022.
Including 2 bourbons.
Including 2 bourbons. We will see you all in the new year. Thanks all for watching. And enjoy your whiskies. Get them open. That's what they're for.